Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Welcome to the Nanosecond Podcast. With your hosts, Erik Nannarone, Nick Goglioni, and Pat Morrow. Interesting topics, intriguing conversation, and entertainment. Erik, Nick, and Pat will be right with you.
Hello and welcome to Nanosecond Podcast. I'm Erik.
I'm Pat.
Evan.
And that's Evan over there.
Yes.
You don't see him yet, but he's here. Evan is.
You don't see anybody yet.
Evan is in the house.
I don't see you, Pat. But
they couldn't hear us online?
Rumble.
Well, they can now. There was
Good.
something that I thought turned back on that didn't.
He texted me at 8:37 and said that the guys could be heard on nose.
Well, that's good. We just blew the whole front end of the show. They didn't want to
That's
hear it
okay.
anyway.
People who want to hear it, go to Twitch or go to anywhere else. I don't know where we're streaming anymore, but go there. Are we on Facebook again, Pat? Or just
Yeah, I posted a link there. I posted.
that was probably the Rumble link, though, right?
Yeah, it was a Rumble link.
Uh,
What's that,
Well-
Flora?
Now we can.
okay. So, who was that?
That was Melanie.
Melanie, if you want to hear the derailment of the beginning of the show, when we're done, go to Twitch. It was actually quite entertaining. Anyway, so funnels. My sister demanding food that has funnels and getting a funnel cloud. I don't think I ever told that story on the air, but I find it funny still to this day. But anyway, let's get into tornado safety. And
Tornado
do
safety.
you have yes. Do you have a clip on that, or is my expert gonna give what he knows about tornado safety?
Well, first of all,
Expert?
I want to I think before we do that, there's another topic that's a little
Okay.
more pressing. And that's what's going to happen Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Oh, hurricane. Right.
We have a Hurricane Burl, I think, or
Yeah.
Burl, coming up out of Texas. It's right now, it's presently a tropical storm that's over Texas. And it is it is pounding Houston and some other areas. That's going to move up here. Let me play this clip that'll explain this a little bit more. Courtesy of Channel 3 NBC News.
Because we've got some potential dicey weather tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been one of those days where we went from like, oh, okay, looks like we could get some rain and thunder tomorrow to, whoa, we have a big situation that's possibly unfolding. So let's get straight to it, friends. Over the next few hours, easy peasy, just cloud cover until about midnight or so, and that's when rain comes in. We have two waves of rain that we'll be working through. The rain that's coming through tonight is going to be heavy and may cause some problems, but the rain that's coming tomorrow afternoon that's when things get kicked up. So that's what's new. We have a severe weather potential now for tomorrow, and what's changed is that we're adding in a flood potential to all of this as well. The flooding is most possible, as of right now, farther south. This is Holmes, Tuscarawas, and Carroll counties where there is a flood watch that is in effect, and that's going to go all the way through your day tomorrow and into Wednesday. All the rain all out to the west of us, and you can see there are a few areas where there are some thunderstorms. That is where the severe weather threat is right now. But as we put all of this into motion, look at how much moisture is coming toward us. 7 a.m. tomorrow, we stop the clock. This is the morning commute. Kids headed out the door to the bus stop. We have heavy rain, maybe thunderstorms coming through at this point. We'll see that round moving out, and then we set the stage for severe weather tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll have a quick temperature recovery, most likely, especially south of the lake. And so that primes the areas farther south for the most potential for severe weather. Notice this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have thunderstorms popping. We'll have more thunderstorms coming 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock as the evening goes on. Once a cold front swings through, that will push the severe weather threat out. We will see much calmer conditions Tuesday night into Wednesday, but the problem is we also have colder air that begins to rotate in. We get a whole lot of scattered showers through here on Wednesday. At times we may have some snow mixing in, and we have a rain-snow mix potential that will linger with us all the way until the end of the week. For tomorrow, the threat moves to Ohio. This is the big update from the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. Earlier today, we were 1 and 2 out of 5. Now we are 2, 3, and even 4 out of 5. This is a big deal, everybody. You definitely need to be prepared tomorrow for that possibility of severe weather. And again, the timing of all of that looks to be later in the day. We're talking 3 to 9 p.m. And that will move out then tomorrow night. Wind, hail, tornadoes are a possibility, as well as that flooding rain that we've already outlined. And you've got to stay weather ready tomorrow. This is what's going to be on you, okay? You have to stay weather aware, but you also need ways to get warnings. If you get the 3 weather app, the 3 news app, we have that ability to get push notifications, whether you're on Wi-Fi or not. That is critical, because if the power goes out, your Wi-Fi goes out, you still need to stay informed. Let's take a look at your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. As mentioned, it's cloudy now, but the rain moves in as we go through the evening. Midnight, we have rain that is around. The heavier rain, though, moves in for the start of the day tomorrow. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Now we're starting to get some heavy rain that's moving through. 7 and 8 a.m. Not only heavy rain, but the possibility of rumbles of thunder. Of course, Matt will have the latest starting at 4:30 in the morning. That round of rain will shift east by 8, 9, 10 a.m. And by noon, now we step back a little bit. Look at the temperatures. Look at this temperature recovery by 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. South versus north. This is where the lake, it becomes a bit of a foe, because this sets up a boundary, and that adds fuel to the fire to thunderstorms that will be sweeping in later on in the afternoon into the evening. This round of storms, this is the one that we're expecting to be severe, with the wind, the hail, the tornadoes, the very heavy rain that lasts through 6 p.m., 7 p.m. By 8, 9 o'clock, it's out of here, and then we're done, and then the temperatures fall back, and we're going to have a much cooler day on Wednesday. As mentioned, 3 to 9 p.m. is going to be our time for tomorrow. That's the damaging winds, the hail, the tornado risk, and flooding threat is going to be around all day, because we get the rain in the morning and then we get more rain in the afternoon. And we're not just talking about rivers here. This could be creeks and streams and ditches, your street if it's prone to flooding. And all in all, by the time we hit Wednesday morning, this 2 inches of rain. That is a lot of rain, and that is going to be coming down in very quick batches, especially where the thunderstorms are concerned. As for the eclipse, the cloud cover trends still look favorable, and our confidence still looks pretty darn good for this far out. We're still 7 days away, but right now, I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy with the way things are setting up. Fingers are crossed. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. 60s with the morning rain giving way to PM storms tomorrow. And please, please stay weather ready tomorrow. We will have showers back around the area on Wednesday, maybe at times mixing with some hail, maybe some snow.
You know, I thought that thing said that was done this afternoon. And that was clear back from April. It takes, but the message is still there. The stuff is going to still come up through. It's going to come up out of Texas, and the sorry about that. I do truly apologize for that. It looks like it's going to come up out of the south, and the lower part of the region is going to get a lot of the weather. The way that the path is going there. You want to do this tornado thing, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So we're today. Well, let's real quick on the tomorrow thing. Are we still expecting tornadoes, or
there's a slight chance? I can read you what the NWS is telling me.
Yeah, that would work. Well, he's getting that. We'll just kind of fill space. So, I mean, hopefully this storm is not as bad as what they're saying it is. All I have to say is prayers for all the people in Texas and that are in the path of this storm. I hope again it's not as bad as what it sounds. Pat, whenever you got it, just cut me off. But it sounds like hopefully it's not another Hurricane Katrina type, because the devastation from that took a long time to rebuild. So again, thoughts and prayers with those in Texas. What part of Texas is it supposed to get?
Well, it's pretty much covered all the whole state, because it's a big storm. I'm still looking here, so just give me a minute.
Okay.
I would think the eastern half, based on the way that storm moved off of the Gulf of Mexico and inland, it's probably going to be East Texas, probably about half of the state, roughly, I would think. And then it's going to move up. Normally, those storms come up the Mississippi Valley, and then eventually they just become a regular front, a regular cold front or warm front, depending on what kind of energy these storms have.
I'm still looking. I don't see. They must not have sent anything out, because I swore they did. And I'm still looking. But I don't see anything. Anyway, let's move on from this. So we can cover tornado safety anyway. Let's do that video.
Yeah, let's do that. So the reason we're doing this is kind of the season and time of year for Ohio to get tornadoes. Like last year, it was around this time or end of August that we got our worst storms. So I wanted to do this as a reminder for everybody out there that what we should do if there is a tornado, whether you're on the road or at home or anywhere. We'll get into different places you go after the video, like you seek shelter. Okay. Without further ado, let's go into the video.
When it comes to severe weather awareness, knowing the terminology of tornadoes is incredibly important.
Yeah, our meteorologist Matt Barentine breaking it all down. What you need to know to stay safe.
We do Severe Weather Awareness Week in February because we're getting close to our severe weather season. We start to see things really pick up in March, and then in April is the month we're most likely to see tornadoes and severe weather in the state of Alabama. When we talk about tornadoes, we need to know some terminology. When there's a tornado watch, you need to be prepared because conditions are favorable for tornadoes. We have a tornado warning. It's often when your phone will be buzzing. Tornado has been spotted or located by radar. And then every once in a while we get what are called tornado emergencies. That's when we know we have a destructive one on the ground causing damage. So very important for you to know all the different tornado terminology as we head into severe weather season.
That was that the only video that you pulled?
Yeah.
Because okay, so there was another one talking tornado safety, specifically if you're on the road, and that is mostly if you're on the road, pull over to the side, find a ditch, and get crouched down there. Where I was gonna go with the safety, if you're in your house, go to the most interior room, or go to the basement interior room that doesn't have windows. And if you're in a public place, just follow what the employees are telling you to do. Each place has storm shelters. Sometimes it's the restrooms, but
about one of the safer places you can be in a home is in like a bathroom, depending on if it's off of the outside wall or not. The reason you stay away from the outside walls is that's the first thing to. If you've got a pretty good sized tornado that comes over your house, it's going to take the outside walls first, and then the vortex might do something with the inside walls, but you'll be a little safer there and protected from debris. That's why they always tell you that. They also tell you to get to the lowest part of your house. If you're living in an apartment building, just get to the lower part of the apartment building where there is no glass or anything like that. So that because glass, there's a lot of debris in these storms a lot of times, and it'll take and go right through the glass and hopefully not into you.
okay. So we do have a little bit of a guest. It's my friend Ethan. He's been on the show before. I'm just getting him set, but
I'm going to do something here. It's going to take me a minute, so the screen's going to go dark. I'll show you the path of this hurricane.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I will get him in, and we'll see. I gotta find the Zoom link. But At least it looks like it's not going to be too bad. Hopefully it's...
Yeah, it's going to be more rain than anything else, and it'll be cooler temperatures for tomorrow. Well, once we get through that, then the rest of the week should be fairly decent.
Yeah. I saw... today's only... Sorry. I lost track of days. Are we getting any storms Wednesday? Or did that move from Wednesday to...
This is going to be a pretty much a one-day event with this thing, because it's moving, but it's not moving that quickly, and it's dumping a lot of rain. That's why the concerns for the flooding and everything.
So that's normal for the storms. They just slow down once they come on the mainland.
That'll be Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Or turn and
Wednesday
keep going
night.
until they run out of energy.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's about all I've got for right now. As far as the original topic, going back to the tornadoes, there's tons of ways you can actually find out if something's coming. You've got weather apps for your phone. You've got a ton of that out there. You can go to the Cleveland NWS page. That's one of the better NWS pages I've ever been on. You can go to the SPC, Storms Prediction Center in Oklahoma. That'll give you the 3-day projections and stuff like that. Or you can, I'm going to make the screen go dark here again. I think.
Or you always have the
I'm good. We actually just got back from Mexico a few hours ago.
Hopefully you guys weren't anywhere near where the hurricane was.
Or is that why
Yeah,
you
I
came
have
back?
a little bit of a story for that. I have a little bit of a story about that.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I was in the Yucatan Peninsula for vacation through Monday, so July 1st through the 8th. And it happened to be the week where Hurricane Beryl was going through that area, and we got slammed by it overnight.
What were the conditions like?
Well, I couldn't see because they boarded up our windows. We were at a resort and it was overnight, but honestly, probably not a good view, probably with palm trees blowing bent to the side.
You know what the description of a tornado is? Do you think there was a tornado that went through?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, cool.
I think it was all the hurricane.
Mm.
All right, I got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Being a meteorologist, I would think, or with an interest in meteorology, I'd think you'd be looking at cloud formations and everything else. What did you see there? Was it predictable? Was it anything like
the
you see up?
hurricane?
Yeah, was it anything like you see up here?
We boarded up.
I couldn't understand you, sorry.
What was
like you're breaking up somewhat.
Here, I can boarding up of the resort place you were saying. Were the cloud formations could you tell it was coming, or were you inside?
I could definitely tell it was coming, and after the outer outflow came through, which produced a lot of wind damage already at that point, like a few hours before the actual hurricane, it was a line of heavy rain and thunder with damaging winds. I would say up to 70 to 80 miles an hour for a second, and then a few hours later, once that went by, I looked out. There was just this big wall of gray over the Gulf of Mexico, and then it got darker as it kept getting closer, and then we finally had to go in, and I didn't see much more, unfortunately. But
did the tide go out?
Did the what?
Did the tide go out?
The tide was absolutely vigorous in the evening. It was absolutely getting a little bit more inland than usual. So I could definitely see that. I could have definitely seen that becoming a bit closer at that point. So I wasn't surprised when it
Usually
hit.
what those hurricanes do is they suck all the water up into them, and the tide around it goes out.
Yeah.
It goes out, and then all of a sudden you get what they call hurricane surge, and it comes in, and the water comes back in, and then some. Did you
kind
see
of like
any
storm surge?
Yeah, storm surge. Did you see any of that?
I unfortunately didn't, because all the windows were boarded up by the time the hurricane came through.
What an opportunity.
I know, right? I tried to look at live webcams, and I can tell you, I did get reference, and yes, I did see a lot of storm surge. Especially in Playa del Carmen area.
Back in about 2005, I was down in Florida when one came through. It was Hurricane David. And
Hurricane David.
We went over to Tampa. It was the thing come up through the Gulf. And we went over into Tampa for the day. And because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what it looked like. And what I saw was pretty much what you described. It was just one big circulating cloud above everything. It was pretty neat. And sitting sitting there was, it was interesting to watch. The cloud formations weren't anything like they were up here. You get your pretty much east to west storm formations and lines of stuff that go through. Those hurricanes get those feeder bands on them that go for miles, and it's nothing but solid rain that comes in from those feeder bands. And
I know.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and it was nasty. Like, I couldn't see it, but I could hear all of it.
I'm surprised they didn't evacuate you guys.
I mean, how could we evacuate? Like, the airport was closed. There were no flights arriving that day.
Like, could they have not moved you guys the day before?
We actually got a different room. So we were on the first floor, and we had a swim out room, and they drained that, and our room didn't have the hurricane curtain. So my mom and dad were like, this is probably not going to be very safe. Let's go to a different room. And that one had a hurricane curtain, and it was on the second floor, well inland from the ocean. And we were also in an evacuation center too. So
well, that's the good part. You were already safe.
Yeah. Our hotel was an evacuation center. So yeah.
Well, being your age and living through seeing a hurricane like that, just when I saw that David thing come up through there, it made me want to see even more about him. That was
me too, man. Me too.
That was pretty cool stuff.
I want to say, prior to booking this, I did not know that Ethan was in the middle of this hurricane.
I was.
Like, I knew you guys were down there, but I didn't know what part of Mexico it hit. So that's kind of cool that you were able to give a kind of firsthand experience. So thank you.
Yeah, it was my first ever experience with a hurricane, and my dad, he was bottling things up in his head all week, and there were things slamming against the windows all night. Like, we were sleeping, and then we got woken up about 5 o'clock when the eye wall was moving through. Yes, we got the eye wall with 100-mile-per-hour winds.
Oh, that really wasn't as bad as it could have been. Some of the eye walls will get up to a couple 100 miles an hour.
Like Hurricane Wilma, for an example. No, never.
That
Hurricane Wilma, I'm never going to experience that again. Nope.
You mean you don't want to get on an airplane and fly around in the wall, Evan?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe above it.
Nah, you got to fly in it. Make a man out of you. I'd do it. Of course, I'm nuts, but that's beside the point.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Hey, now.
Yeah, we all know that.
Hey, now.
Okay, Ethan, here's the next question for you. What category was the hurricane when it passed over your hotel? Do you know offhand? You said it was about 100 miles.
It was a Category 2.
Category 2, so it's one of the more mild ones. Okay.
Yes, thankfully. It could have been a lot worse, trust me.
Yeah, it could have been a 5 like it was out in the ocean.
Yeah, thank Lord it didn't happen.
It already slashed Grenada and Jamaica with, Grenada I think was slashed with the Category 5.
Grenada, I don't know. They got slammed. I feel bad for them. They got absolutely hammered.
Jamaica didn't fare much better, as I recall.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. They definitely didn't fare better. They actually fared the worse, if that. So,
Yeah.
And did you also hear that Hurricane Beryl weakened as it moved into the Gulf of Mexico, and then it re-strengthened into a Cat 1? That's because the ocean temperatures are like bathwater.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's how warm it is.
Yeah, they're saying because of, when over in Africa where all that stuff forms, it's supposed to be the warmest it's ever been over there, and that's why they were predicting a lot of storms, a lot of the what do you call it, hurricanes to come out of there. There's actually two places where this stuff actually forms. One is on the you can form one out of the Gulf, and that's because the water in the Gulf is so warm.
Yeah, it's like bath water.
Most of the stuff actually comes out off of the tip of Africa up through here. And
it's like bath water out there.
And you can also get them over on the California side of the ocean.
Yeah, agreed.
Over by the Baja Peninsula and all that's where a lot of it. And in fact, if there's going to be an El Nino, La Nina, that's where they measure.
There's going to be a La Nina.
That's where they measure the stuff at. That's the start of it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a La Nina summer and winter. So we're already in summer. Obviously, I think La Nina is going to continue.
Well, we can hope. Hopefully the weather will get back to normal.
Come on, give us a good winter.
Why, so you can get out of school?
Hopefully La Nina gives us a good winter. Our past winters have not been good. Warm and mild.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want to get drilled with snow?
What?
I said, so you want to get drilled with snow?
Well, I mean, sometimes in the winter, I'm sick of the snow. I'm ready for thunderstorms. And then in the summer, I'm sick of the heat. I'm ready for the cold. I don't know. Preference is just back and forth.
At least we don't live in Buffalo.
Right. They could get feet of snow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I think their biggest storm was like 5 feet this past year.
I talked to Mike Bettis once.
Intense.
I used to go to these seminars down in Columbus that were put on by the NWS in cooperation with Ohio State University's weather college. And I actually talked to Bettis, and he was up in one of the 3.5, 4 foot snowfalls up there in by the football stadium up there. And he the way he described it was that it just snowed. It just snowed and snowed and snowed and snowed. He says, we came into Cleveland to pick up the car. He said, we were just going to drive out there. It wasn't that long. 6-7 hour drive, what the heck. So they rented me an SUV for all my equipment. And we ended up heading for New York. And he says, we got up there. And he says, there was about 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. He says,
that was insane.
We got into the room up there. And he says, it's just kept snowing. And he says, we went to dinner and it just kept snowing. He says, by the time we got up in the morning, they couldn't get the doors of the hotel open. There was so much snow, you couldn't see anything. And some of the cars, of course, were all covered.
Oh, my goodness.
They finally dug themselves out. They went through a man door on the hotel and dug themselves out of it. And some of the pictures he had were incredible. The amount of snow they had. But, that was lake effect snow.
I mean, I've heard stories from people who grew up in Buffalo, and they said they literally had to exit their houses from the roof and dig out.
Yeah.
Seriously? Holy
Yes.
cow. That's insane.
Lake effect snow.
Mm-hmm.
Lake effect snow can always do it.
Extreme. An extreme.
Mm-hmm. But
Can I do a little quick update real quick?
yeah,
On what we can expect these next couple days?
yeah, that works.
All right,
Okay.
so let me share my screen here. It's only going to be brief as I hopefully can tune it to. Let me see here. Screen.
Is it letting you share?
I'm assuming you can see my screen now.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. All right, so I'm going to go to the weather site here. Or the weather. All right, this is radar Omega. So you can see this is the path of barrel that it's projected to take. All right, and you can see that it's basically eyeing pretty much the western half of Ohio, as well as getting up into western New York, into southern Canada. And you can see down here, though, there's an SPC outlook. And you guess what threat that's driven by? That is driven by a tornado risk. And that is because, one, we have a front here, and that's going to enhance the tornado risk ahead of it. Two, we have separate wind shear ahead of this, enhancing the tornado threat. So that's why we have this very odd area of severe weather for this time of year. Severe weather, don't you agree, should be way up here this time of year?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it in the picture, as we go into tomorrow morning, see how those heavy rain bands begin to lift northward? Those are likely going to cause some flooding in these areas right here, especially across where areas get the most heavy rainfall. And I'll show you rainfall totals here in a second. But once this moves into our neck of the woods here, thankfully, it doesn't look like we're going to get the heaviest bulk of the rain. Looks like it's going to be mainly west, perhaps north of us. But it definitely looks like we could get a pretty good soaking on Wednesday morning. And that is a question right now because we also have a severe weather threat on Wednesday afternoon. I don't know if you guys saw, but the marginal risk is way over here. I think they just have it way far east of us right now because it's very uncertain of how fast Beryl is going to clear out of here. This model likes to clear it out early in the morning, and then fires up a new round of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And those would likely be capable of tornadoes as the low begins to move over our area.
How are you getting that on Radar Omega? Can I ask that?
Huh?
How are you getting that track on Radar Omega?
Oh, Alpha subscription.
That's right. He told us that the last time that he was on the show.
Yeah, remember? Yeah.
I actually bought the Radar Omega, but I didn't buy any.
No. Well, without a membership, you can't really use the model runs, but there are many free sites you can obviously use, like Tropical Tidbits, Pivotal Weather, weathermodels.com. You know, you have it.
What's a subscription costing you?
Let me see. I don't remember.
Yeah, $11 a month.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on if you think it's worth it or not. If you don't think it's worth it, then obviously don't do it. But if it's worth it, if you
I
think
like
it's
the
worth
Radar
it,
Omega. I've been using it since we talked the last time. That's a pretty decent program.
It is, yeah. It really is.
I don't know if it's worth $11 a month or $12 a month, though.
Seriously.
For me, anyway.
Seriously, you got that. But,
good. I was going to ask you to zoom in to see like where the break line of that box actually is. Like, what highway is it? Like 77? Would that be Pat, or 71? Is kind of the demarcation.
71.
They were saying it was going to be the worst of the flooding was going to be below Route 30.
It looks like
our
it's
neck of
gonna
the
be maybe
woods
west
probably
of
won't experience
71?
the heaviest rainfall.
Am I right, Ethan? It looks like it's going to stay west of 71.
You are very right about that. But I have looked at trends recently, and some of them have been shifting the heaviest rain a bit further, perhaps south and east. Haven't you noticed that? I don't know if you guys look at models or not, but I've noticed an easterly and southerly progression of the heavy rainfall. I don't know. All depends on where this low lifts. One scenario is obviously, lifts here. Another scenario is obviously the high pressure system clears out and it goes over here. That would enhance our tornado and heavy rain threat over here. But there's also a scenario where the high pressure system can move all the way over here to perhaps into the North Carolina, Virginia area. Hold on, guys. I'm going to take my pill real quick. My mom wants me to. Sorry.
Okay.
Love you.
Once we... Oh,
sorry. She was just saying goodnight. But obviously, scenario one is obviously this track. And the second scenario, which is probably a somewhat possible scenario, but more uncertain scenario, because I don't know if you've seen, but Pat, haven't you seen that there's a high pressure system dominant over the southeast right now?
Yeah, and that's what's keeping that where it's at.
That's what's allowing it to circulate. So, I mean, if the low perhaps does take that second track I just drew right here, we would be in the line for heavy rain, perhaps a few tornadoes. And you know the northwest end of hurricanes, especially if you get a little bit of a jet stream, you get a lot of different directions. You get this direction and you got that direction. That will enhance your tornado risk. So that's typically what we're going to see. I definitely think the highest tornado potential of what we're seeing right now, that the low tracks up here, I think the highest tornado threat will just be west of the area. But like I said, if the second scenario pans out, could enhance our tornado threat. So we're going to need to watch that closely. Thank you for letting me share.
No problem. With that, I think do you have anything else, Pat? I think it's time to wrap it up. We need to talk after the show. Ethan, go just stay on here for another few minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, cool. Okay. With that, thanks, Ethan, for joining. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Evan. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a good night.
All right. Have a good night.
You got me. Got me again. Flipping here.
Good afternoon and good night, Pittsburgh.
I know, right? Yeah. Keep it going. Keep it going all night.
Yeah.
The whole day of Michigan, the whole day of Michigan, the whole day of Michigan, give a hand for the whole day of Michigan, River Ohio, River Ohio, River Ohio. Oh, give a hand for the whole state of Michigan, the whole state of Michigan, the whole state of Michigan. Give a hand for the whole state of Michigan, River Ohio.
That was good. You should keep that playing all night to the Pittsburgh fans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have a couple that we do another show with. So that's always fun. But So I sent you a link to the Ham Radio Club website, and that's the one that Pat runs. So, like I said, once it's up on, we can tell you more and how to get the license and stuff. There's an online class that you have to take and then we can fill you in on everything. There's a lot more than I